Warrior Cats Fanfiction Murders in the Mist Chapter 1 Morning burst through the seemingly cheerful group of loners. As cats dragged their paws from the patch of trees and uneasiness sweltered, a strange feeling spread hostility through each of them. A cry wailed from one of the trees, followed by small whimpers of innocent kits. Though concealed by leaves, undoubtedly the frantic queen was pawing the empty, cold nest. The kits mewled in the corner of the hollowed stump. Panic filled the area as realization hit. The kit was missing. No doubt, any time now, the queen would find a nasty surprise. Horror would stamp out any other emotions. This would be the first step of ruin here. First this horror, followed by minor steps that led to panic and outbreak. These loners would split up and leave the area, forever. But, no thinking ahead, one step at a time. The distressed queen's paws shook, given way by the small tremors in the ground. She stumbled outside with a look of terror. She pelted to the other side of her den in a frantic search. Perfect. The expression on her face was of disgust, fear, and alarm. It was absolutely priceless. After a sickening moment, a shriek exploded from her. Her claws scrabbled at the ground as she sprinted the other way. A curious silver she-cat padded up to behind the trees. She hid her expression as she took in the scene. A small pile of bones lay behind the tree. Tufts of fur lay in the shape around the bones. Red blood thickly colored them. A strong smell of kit wafted from the pile. Minute pieces of meat clung onto the yellowing bones. This cat had been killed, eaten, and purposely left. This action was meant to start the first part of ruin and destruction. The silver she-cat stepped back, with blank dismay fully expressed. She shook herself and walked from the nest of trees to the other never-ending forest, which was now illuminated by the morning sun's light. Green leaves floated down from the sky. A dark brown tabby tom with broad shoulders hurried behind her. "Luna!" he called. The she-cat, Luna, turned around, blinking her full blue eyes. "Oh, it's you, Oculto," she sighed. He nodded, biting his lip. Worry crossed his eyes as he turned around, whisking his tail. Luna caught this exchange and stepped towards him, bristling slightly. "What?" Oculto shook his head. He started to walk towards his nest. Luna's fur rose as she leaped a few steps. "Oculto, stop!" Hesitantly, he paused and turned around. Annoyance flickered in his eyes, concealing a darker, deeper feeling. His claws rapidly unsheathed and sheathed again. He glanced down at the ground before raising his eyes hastily to gaze into Luna's flickering blue ones. "First, don't walk away from me when I'm talking. Next, why are you acting so strangely?" Luna growled. "Why aren't you? Did you not see the dead kit? Someone is killing our kits at night. That's something to be worried about," Oculto snarled, a huge edge masking uneasiness. Luna shrugged. "It probably was a mistake. The kit snuck out when it wasn't supposed to, and a fox happened to eat it. Life isn't perfect, Oculto. Nothing is. There's always death." A cloud slid over the sun, erasing the bristling shadows. Oculto's eyes darkened. A fox wouldn't leave bones right behind the kit's nest. And sometimes, death can get out of control. There's no telling what may happen. He stormed away, tail tip twitching. Luna's gaze followed him, longing filling her large blue eyes. Sorrow swelled up in her over the current day's events. A shudder rippled through her muscles as she closed her eyes in reflection. In opening them, her paws seemed to move her effortlessly over the ground into the forest. All was still in the next few following nights. The moon shined brightly and the cats carried on with their duties. The event seemed to erase itself from their minds, all except for the queen, of course. Red eyes gazed from a bush behind a small nest. The cat inside tossed and turned, groaning, unable to sleep. The cat rose to his paws and peered outside of the den. Grogginess didn't stop him as he clumsily padded out of the patch of dens. He gained more stability as he walked through the forest. His paws lightened and tail lowered. Every move of his was obvious that he was hunting. He was hunting for prey. but actually, he was the one being hunted. Occasionally, a small black paw would step on a twig or a leaf. The Tom would freeze and frantically survey the area around him, not sensing nor seeing anything. He would continue on. No prey seemed to lurk in the bushes. The forest was creepily empty of life. Disappointed, the Tom spun around and began his path back to the nest. However, his nest was quite a way away. The black paws hiding behind a tree itched with greed, anger, need. The cat closed its eyes, trying to control the mania, trying to take over. Alas, it was no good. The Tom was completely unaware. His paws padded in a continuous path. His eyes were fixed straight ahead. The black cat leaped from the shadows, claws hooked. The deadly red eyes gleamed with madness. Dry blood covered the edges of the black paws and lethal claws. At the last second, the Tom turned around. His mouth dropped as he saw the black figure leaping towards him. A gurgle filled his voice as the claws scraped his throat. Blood oozed from his neck and into his throat, bubbling up. His eyes bulged as he choked. He convulsed, ending in a shudder that left him motionless. His eyes were a blank yellow color, a misty film already beginning to spread over it. The black cat grabbed his body and tossed it aside. It began to dig a shallow hole in the soft dirt. As it dug, a light mist filled the air. Fog shrouded the figure as it finally covered the body and scraped dirt over it. The cat strolled away as if nothing had happened. There was no doubt. I needed to kill.